Valar Morghulis. What if Ned told Catelyn the truth about Jon? Let's explore the possibilities that might have been. Winterfell, late 297 AC. Just months before King Robert's royal procession is due to arrive in the north, the ancestral seat of House Stark rests beneath a pale, wintry moon. Inside the solar adjoining their bedchamber, Eddard Stark paces, hands clasped behind his back. The air smells faintly of old parchment and beeswax candles. Catelyn Stark, seated on a wooden chair near the hearth, watches her lord husband's troubled face.
Ned, you've barely spoken all evening. Is something amiss?
Cat, there is a truth I've carried too long. It weighs on my heart every day. I have been unjust to you, and to another who dwells beneath this roof.
Catelyn stiffens. Ever since they wed, a shadow followed their marriage. Jon Snow, believed by all to be Ned's bastard, a living reminder of some unknown liaison. Catelyn can feel her chest tighten. She recalls years of resentment, the silent pain of his presence.
This concerns Jon, does it not?
He is not my son by any woman, not a Shara Dane, nor any camp follower. His mother was Lyanna, my sister, who died in my arms. His father was Rhaegar Targaryen.
The words land like a hammer blow. Catelyn's immediate reaction is disbelief, her eyebrows knitting tight.
Rhaegar Targaryen? Lyanna Stark? Gods, Ned, what are you saying?
Ned's voice trembles softly as he explains the events at the Tower of Joy after Robert's rebellion. Lyanna's whispered plea, her labor and death, and his solemn oath to protect the babe, the last Targaryen of Rhaegar's line, born in love, not rape, as the realm believed. He recalls the blood-stained bed, the promise she forced from him.
I called him my bastard to shield him from Robert's wrath. The realm would kill him if his parentage were known. I kept this from you to keep you safe as well. But I have seen your anguish, Cat. Your coldness toward Jon, who bears no blame. He is family. He is my sister's child, your nephew by marriage. He belongs here in Winterfell, as a Stark, and more.
Catelyn's hands grip the arms of her chair. Confusion wars with anger and relief. She had always believed Ned fathered Jon outside their marriage. Now the truth is stranger, yet purer. Her pride bristles. Ned hid this for 15 years. Jon is nearly a man grown now. But as the anger ebbs, a calm realization emerges. Jon is not a threat to her children's inheritance in the way a bastard might be. He is kin, born of Ned's beloved sister, making him no less than blood of her blood.
I do not know what to feel. You kept this secret for so long. You let me hate him, Ned. You let me believe he was your shame.
Ned's shoulders sag.
I know. I beg forgiveness. I could not risk anyone learning the truth. Rhaegar's son would be a threat to King Robert and the Lannisters. For Jon's life, I carried this burden. But I can bear it alone no longer.
Silence stretches. In the corridor, a distant sound of boots on stone. Catelyn thinks of Jon, his earnest demeanor, quiet loyalty, how he mirrors Ned's sense of honor, how cruelly she treated him. No kind word, no maternal warmth. Guilt knots her stomach.
If he is Lyanna's boy, then he is Stark blood through and through. A Targaryen on his father's side, but he shows no signs of madness. Ned, does he know?
Ned shakes his head.
No, and he must not. Not yet. The realm is not safe for a Targaryen prince. But I trust you, Cat. He deserves a mother's care, not suspicion. We must keep this secret between us, at least until the time is right.
Catelyn presses a hand to her heart. Her mind drifts to their children, Robb, Sansa, Arya, Bran, Rickon, and how Jon could find a true place among them. A seed of sympathy blossoms within her.
I will try, Ned. I will treat him as I would my sister's child. He is family. I swear it.
Ned's relief is palpable, tears glistening unshed in his eyes. Days later, in the courtyard of Winterfell, Jon Snow, practicing archery with Robb and Theon, loses an arrow that finds its mark. Catelyn watches from the gallery. Before, she would have turned away, dismissing him as a blemish on her family's honor. Now, she observes him carefully. He has Lyanna's grey eyes and earnest determination. Standing beside Robb, he is of a height, both nearing manhood's threshold. She approaches, and Jon lowers his bow, surprised by her presence.
My lady.
It's the same formal greeting he always uses. The distance he keeps is palpable. Catelyn summons her courage.
Jon, you've grown skilled. Your father would be pleased.
Jon blinks, uncertain. Kind words from her are rare. He dips his head, puzzled but not ungrateful.
Thank you, my lady.
Robb catches the exchange from a few paces away, curious about the softening in his mother's tone. Theon merely shrugs, uninterested. Catelyn turns to leave, her heart heavy with remorse and resolve. She will do better. She must. Shortly before King Robert's arrival, 298 AC, Ned and Catelyn sit behind closed doors, whispering. Robert Baratheon rides north with a great retinue. The king's arrival sets Ned on edge. If Robert suspects anything, Jon's life will be at risk.
We will be cautious. Jon has known only that he is your bastard son. Let him continue to believe that. I will be kinder, but not so openly as to raise suspicion. Robert must see nothing amiss.
Ned nods. He's proud of Catelyn's strength. Already he feels less alone.
The secret remains within these walls. Only one other knows. Howland Reed, who stood with me at the Tower of Joy. He will never betray us.
We must not only protect Jon's life, but shape him into a man who can survive these dangerous times. The Targaryen name still draws daggers.
Yes, he must be a Stark in all but name until a day comes when revealing the truth can save us, not damn us.
Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you like this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 94% of you watch the videos without subscribing. Imagine what we could accomplish if everyone subscribed. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, is it done? Great. Thank you so much. King Robert's visit to Winterfell. The feast in the Great Hall is grand. Robert Baratheon laughs and drinks, slapping Ned's shoulder. Cersei Lannister watches from her seat like a coiled snake. Joffrey smirks, and Sansa dreams of royal courts. Arya hurls peas at Bran when no one's looking, and Robb and Jon sit at the lower table with Theon and the younger men. Catelyn, elegant and composed, maintains a watchful eye. Robert toasts the memory of Lyanna, sadness flickering through his drunken joviality. Ned's face remains solemn. Catelyn wonders if Robert had known the truth about Jon. Would he have killed the boy? She shivers, pushing the thought away.
Come south with me, Eddard. Be my hand. We'll rule together as we once fought together.
This offer sets the known tale into motion. Ned will journey south, leaving Winterfell in Robb's hands. But now the difference. Jon will not feel unwanted and rush to join the Night's Watch. He will remain, thanks to Catelyn's quiet change of heart. After Robert's departure with Ned, some weeks later, Catelyn stands atop the walls of Winterfell. She has bid her husband farewell as he took the King's Road south. She holds a letter from Ned, hastily written. He warns her, "Stay vigilant, Cat. The court is full of vipers. Treat Jon well. If the worst comes to pass, he may be our hope." Catelyn contemplates these words. Ned must have learned something in King's Landing that unsettles him. She prays to the gods for his safety. Down in the courtyard, Jon trains with Rodrik Cassel. He is swift, his blade ringing against steel. Catelyn descends the tower steps and approaches.
Jon, you will ride with Robb tomorrow when he visits Lord Serwyn, yes?
If Robb wishes it, my lady.
He does. He spoke highly of your advice on fortifying the mill near the Broken Branch. He trusts your counsel.
A flicker of warmth in Jon's grey eyes.
I'm glad to serve Winterfell, my lady.
Catelyn's chest tightens. Jon's loyalty is evident, and now that she knows his parentage, she sees his quiet nobility. She nods and turns away, not wanting to overplay her hand. Slowly but surely, a bond of respect forms. King's Landing, early 298 AC. Ned Stark uncovers the truth about Joffrey, Tommen, and Myrcella's parentage. They are not Robert's children, but Jaime's. As in the known tale, this leads to his downfall. Ned is arrested after confronting Cersei. Word travels north slowly. Catelyn receives ravens from the capital, from Sansa's frightened hand, from secret informants. Jon stands near Catelyn as she reads the grim words by candlelight, anger and fear contorting her features.
They've taken Ned prisoner. The Lannisters hold our girls.
Jon's heart pounds. He thinks of Eddard as his father, and Sansa and Arya as sisters. He knows not the full truth, only that Winterfell must stand strong.
My lady, we must call the banners. Robb must ride south.
Robb already gathers the Northern Lords. We will free Eddard and return our girls home. Jon, I know you wish to help.
I will do whatever I can.
She sees the reflection of Lyanna in him, courage and loyalty. The time for subtlety is not yet gone, but she can rely on him as she would any true Stark. The northern host in the Riverlands, late 298 AC. Robb marches south with a great host. Catelyn goes to negotiate with Lord Walder Frey at the Twins. Jon, trusted more now, accompanies her alongside Robb's bannerman. Unbeknownst to all, the Targaryen blood Jon carries lies dormant, known only to Ned, Catelyn, and Howland Reed. But this hidden truth subtly shifts dynamics. Catelyn's attitude reassures Robb, who relies on Jon's counsel. At the Twins, Walder Frey proves difficult. He demands marriages and concessions. Yet, without the scorn Catelyn once harbored, negotiations proceed more smoothly. She does not resent Jon's presence, and Frey's leering sons find no cracks in her composure.
We need safe passage, Lord Walder. My son's cause is just... He fights to free his father and avenge wrongs done by the Lannisters. Aid us, and House Stark will remember.
Walder Frey eyes Jon with curiosity, noting that Catelyn does not slight him. The Freys know the Starks' reputation for honor. Lacking a sense of discord, Frey agrees to the marriage terms. Robb must wed a Frey daughter after the war. For now, no deception hatches in these halls. The seeds of treachery that once grew are stunted by the stronger, more united Stark front. The Whispering Wood, 298 AC. Robb's forces surprise Jaime Lannister's army. The battle goes much as in the original story. Jaime is captured, but this time Jon plays a key role. He rides with the flank that encircles the Lannister outriders. His valor and clear-headedness earn him praise. After the battle, in a quiet tent, Catelyn stands with Robb and a captured Jaime Lannister bound in chains. Jon enters, wary but calm.
We have the Kingslayer, Mother. Perhaps now the Lannisters will bargain for father's life and our sister's.
Catelyn eyes Jaime, who smirks despite his bonds. Before, she may have been quicker to consider trading Jaime out of desperation. Now, with Jon's stable presence and Robb's growing confidence, she is less rash.
We will not yield hostages so easily. Let the Lannisters sweat.
Starks and their honor. But who is this one? The bastard, I presume.
Catelyn does not flinch. Jon stiffens but says nothing.
He is of this family, sir. That is all you need know.
Jaime notes the subtle change, narrowing his eyes. Something about the way Lady Stark defends the boy unsettles him, yet he cannot place it. The tension thickens, and Jaime's barbs find less purchase here. The camps beside the Trident, late 298 AC. As Robb's victories mount, lords hail him as king in the north. Ned's execution still happens in King's Landing, as in the original story. A raven brings the terrible news. Ned Stark is dead, beheaded by Joffrey. Catelyn screams in grief and collapses against Robb. Jon stands, stunned, the ground falling from beneath him. His father, the man who raised him, is gone. Tears trace silent paths down his cheeks. Robb rages, vowing vengeance. In that grief, they cling together. Catelyn, through her sobs, reaches for Jon's hand. He kneels beside her and Robb. This unity transforms the northern host's spirit. No longer divided by uncertainty over Jon's status, they stand as one pack.
We will make them pay, Robb, for your father, my love, and for our home.
Jon steels himself. He remembers Ned's quiet lessons in honor and duty. If he is Targaryen as well as Stark, he can draw on both legacies, fire and ice, to guide him. He will not abandon this family. A new strategy unfolds, 299 AC. With Ned gone, the war intensifies. Robb leads the northern armies deep into the Westerlands, but this time Jon stands beside him, advising caution learned from watching Ned. Catelyn coordinates alliances. She travels to bargain with the River Lords, to Manderley in White Harbour, and secretly corresponds with Howland Reed, seeking proof of Jon's parentage hidden in ancient records, letters kept secret in the depths of Greywater Watch. Sansa remains a hostage in King's Landing. Arya has escaped the city, but is lost somewhere along the King's Road. Catelyn and Robb know they must rescue Sansa and find Arya. Jon lends his voice, arguing for a campaign that draws Lannister's strength away from the capital, increasing leverage. At Robb's war councils,
we must force Tywin Lannister to march west. If we break him in the field, King's Landing will lose its shield. Then perhaps we can negotiate Sansa's return.
Jon runs a finger along a rough map.
If we strike near Ashmark and make them believe we aim for Casterly Rock, Tywin might dispatch reinforcements. A coordinated raid could cut their supplies.
The Northern Lords listen, impressed. Great Jon Umber thumps Jon's back, acknowledging his keen insight.
Ha! The lad thinks like the old wolf. That's a good Stark brain in that skull, no mistake.
Jon takes the praise quietly, determined to honor Ned's memory. No Red Wedding this time, 299 AC. The chain of events leading to the Red Wedding never fully materializes. Why? Because Robb, guided by Jon and supported by Catelyn, makes no rash decisions that alienate Walder Frey. He keeps his promise. Robb weds a Frey girl, perhaps a more pleasant daughter than in the original tale, fulfilling the bargain to secure the twins. With Jon's calming presence and Catelyn's firm diplomacy, no insult sparks Frey treachery. Roose Bolton sees a united North he cannot easily betray, and without the lure of easy victory, his ambition is kept in check. Catelyn, wiser now, does not release Jaime Lannister in desperation. Instead, she holds him as a bargaining chip. Over time, ravens fly between Riverrun and King's Landing. Tywin Lannister, acting hand, fears for Jaime's life and becomes more inclined to negotiate. Stannis Baratheon's shadow looms. He proclaims Joffrey a bastard and claims the Iron Throne by right. Renly challenges him, mustering an army in the Reach. Into this chaos, Catelyn inserts the possibility of Jon Snow's Targaryen lineage, very subtly through rumors whispered by Littlefinger, who she temporarily courts for information. Littlefinger, intrigued by this game, confirms strange details from the Citadel's records through his network of informants. He imagines ways to use this knowledge to gain power, but Catelyn, wary of him, keeps him at arm's length. The realm grows uncertain. Another heir to the Targaryen line might shift the balance of power dramatically. Cersei Lannister dismisses the rumors as nonsense, but Varys listens closely. Across the narrow sea, word spreads quietly. A hidden Targaryen in the north? A more successful campaign against the Lannisters, 299 AC. The northern host, reinforced by Riverlanders and some cautious support from Dorne, lured by the Targaryen connection, launches precise strikes. They corner the mountain's men before Gregor Clegane can wreak havoc. Under Jon's guidance, a night assault catches Clegane's band off guard. In the skirmish, Jon faces the mountain himself. Not in a prolonged duel, the mountain is too monstrous, but Jon's careful tactics lead to a volley of arrows that bring down the giant. The mountain falls to northern steel and cunning, eliminating one of Tywin's most feared captains. As Robb's forces consolidated their victories, they ensured that key strategic locations like Moat Cailin remained firmly under Stark control. The Ironborn, distracted by their own campaigns in the Iron Islands, and lacking sufficient support from other southern factions, made no move to challenge Stark dominance in the region. With the mountain gone, the Riverlands are spared his atrocities. Local lords, once hesitant, flock to Robb's banner. The North's cause seems blessed by fate. Catelyn corresponds with Renly Baratheon, who courts alliances with the North. She hints that if the Iron Throne's legitimacy is questioned, perhaps a known Targaryen heir could unify the realm against the Lannisters. Renly is intrigued, though uncertain. Stannis, grim and unbending, watches from Dragonstone, unsettled by whispers of a lost Targaryen scion. Growing tensions and identity crises, 300 AC. As the war grinds on, Jon struggles privately. He always thought himself a Stark bastard, less than his true-born siblings. Now he knows there's more to him, though he does not know the full truth yet, only that Lady Catelyn treats him better, defends him, respects him. He suspects some hidden reason for her change of heart. Late one evening, by the weirwood tree at Riverrun's Godswood, Jon stands alone. Catelyn finds him there, drawn by candlelight.
My lady, I know you've changed toward me. I do not know why. I am grateful, but confused.
Catelyn steps closer, the white trunk of the heart tree looming over them. She sees Ned in Jon's posture, Lyanna in his eyes.
Jon, you have always been part of this family. I was blind to it for too long. Forgive me.
There is nothing to forgive. Your kindness now means the world to me.
Tears threaten her eyes. She imagines telling him everything, Rhaegar, Lyanna, the secret that could cost him his life if revealed too soon. But Ned's ghostly voice echoes. Not yet.
We stand on the brink of great change, Jon. Your place is with us, always.
He bows his head, comforted yet uncertain. Shifting allegiances and a more stable Northern alliance, 300 AC. With the Lannisters pressured on all sides, Tyrion begins secret negotiations. He offers Sansa back in exchange for Jaime. Arya, found near Harrenhal by Northern scouts, returns safely to Catelyn's arms. The Starks secure their daughters without desperate gambles. They trade Jaime eventually, but only after extracting ironclad oaths and hostages to ensure peace. The realm staggers under the weight of multiple kings, Joffrey in King's Landing, Stannis on Dragonstone, Renly in the Reach, Balon Greyjoy in the Iron Islands, and Robb in the north. But Robb's cause is steadier now. With Jon at his side and Catelyn guiding diplomacy, they navigate these treacherous waters. Littlefinger, frustrated that he cannot easily manipulate this new dynamic, flirts with treachery elsewhere. The Vale remains aloof under Lysa Arryn, and Dorne watches, still remembering Elia Martell's murder at the hands of the Lannisters. Whispers of Jon's Targaryen blood begin to spread more widely, seeping into the collective subconscious of Westeros. If proven, this would give the North and its allies a powerful claim against the Lannisters, and perhaps even against the Baratheons. A Targaryen prince raised at Winterfell, tempered by Stark honor. Such a figure might unite old loyalties or spark new conflicts. Catelyn's diplomacy and Jon's legacy, 301 AC. As the war cools into a tense stalemate, Catelyn dispatches envoys to Dorne with coded letters hinting at Jon's parentage. She convinces the Martells that avenging Elia and her children might come through supporting a Targaryen restoration, if that Targaryen is tempered by Northern honor. Doran Martell, ever cautious, sends discreet responses. He is interested, but needs proof. Howland Reed's promised evidence, Lyanna's letter sealed in House Reed's vaults, attesting to her marriage to Rhaegar, could be pivotal. Catelyn arranges a secret meeting with Howland Reed at Moat Cailin. Jon accompanies her, unaware of the true purpose. Late at night, in a hidden chamber beneath the mossy halls of Moat Cailin, Catelyn and Howland Reed speak in hushed tones. Jon waits outside.
Howland, Ned trusted you above all. Do you have it?
Howland Reed, diminutive but wise, produces a small chest. Inside lies a letter sealed with the old Stark sigil, Lyanna's words, naming Rhaegar her husband and Jon, their true-born son, recognized by witnesses at the Tower of Joy.
This could shake the realm to its foundation, my lady. Are you sure?
Catelyn thinks of the years of conflict, the cruelty of the Lannisters, the instability tearing Westeros apart. A just claimant with Stark values could restore balance. But would revealing Jon's identity now bring peace or more war?
I will hold it close. For now, only Doran Martell may see a copy, to ensure he knows we speak truth.
Howland nods. They step outside, where Jon waits, curious but patient. A changing world and the conclusion, 302 AC. Over time, Robb and his allies force the Lannisters to accept terms. The North and Riverlands gain autonomy. Sansa is freed, Arya is safe, and there is talk of a Grand Council to settle the matter of succession. Renly is assassinated in the south by Stannis' shadow, as in the original timeline, and Stannis wages a grim war against King's Landing. The Tyrells, sensing chaos, eventually side with whichever faction seems strongest. With no Red Wedding, the North stands triumphant. Robb is acknowledged as king in the North, restoring a measure of peace and independence. Jon proves invaluable. His counsel, bravery, and loyalty strengthen Robb's rule. Catelyn watches him with pride. She imagines a future where Jon can stand openly as who he truly is. A son of ice and fire, symbol of a new age. Jon senses something deeper is at play. He sees respect and warmth in Catelyn's eyes, a secret Ned died protecting. But as the North rebuilds and the small folk return to their farms, a chill wind blows from beyond the wall. Rumors drift down from the frozen north. The dead walk. White Walkers stir after millennia. Without Jon having taken the Black, the Night's Watch is weaker, more ignorant of the looming threat. They send ravens pleading for men. The lords of Westeros, entangled in politics, barely listen. One frosty dawn, as Jon oversees the training of new guards, a raven arrives bearing a black seal, words from the Night's Watch. Jon reads it aloud to Catelyn, Robb, and their assembled captains.
They say the White Walkers are real. The wall is threatened. The dead rise. They beg for help.
Catelyn fingers the hidden letter from Lyanna, tucked away in a safe chest. The truth of Jon's birth could unite a fractured realm against the true enemy. Ice and fire must combine to face the darkness.
We will answer the call. The North stands as it always has.
Jon looks northward, towards the wall he never joined, but now must defend from afar. Meereen, early 302 AC. In the streets of Meereen, Daenerys stands atop the balcony of the Great Pyramid, gazing out over the city. Drogon circles above, casting shadows on the ground.
My queen, we have received intelligence from one of your emissaries. There is unrest beyond the Narrow Sea. A northern lord with Targaryen blood, seeking alliances.
Daenerys turns, her piercing eyes reflecting both curiosity and determination.
A northern lord with Targaryen blood? Tell me more.
Barristan steps closer, handing her a sealed parchment bearing the dragon sigil. Daenerys turns back to the city below, her resolve unshaken. The Dragon Queen's fleet begins preparations, setting sail westward toward an uncertain future. Meereen, early 302 AC. Daenerys' gaze sweeps the distant horizon. Her dragons, wings outstretched, circle high above. She grips the parchment Barristan handed her, mind racing with possibilities.
A northern lord with Targaryen blood. We sail at once, have the fleet provisioned. We must learn the truth for ourselves.
As you command, Your Grace. The harbors of Meereen throng with your ships. We can depart within the week.
This letter mentions House Stark of Winterfell. They claim the realm is fractured. Multiple kings, a Lannister threat, and something far more ominous beyond the wall. If there truly is a man with Targaryen blood forging alliances, I must know his intentions.
I have served House Targaryen all my life. If this man is who he claims to be, your house may stand stronger. But caution is wise, my queen.
If he is an imposter, we will uncover it. If he is real, my dragons and I will test his blood.
She strides back inside, the heavy door closing behind her. The city bustles far below, but the Dragon Queen's mind is already sailing across the sea. Moat Cailin, the north, mid-302 AC. Within the mossy fortifications of Moat Cailin, Catelyn Stark, paces in a torchlit corridor. Beside her stands the Cranagman, Howland Reed, solemn and sure. Outside, in a drafty antechamber, Jon Snow waits, unaware of the conversation taking place within.
Howland. If Daenerys Targaryen arrives, Jon may be summoned. Word spreads that she has liberated Slavers Bay and commands dragons. We cannot hide the truth forever.
The realm already whispers of Jon's blood, but whispers are not proof. Once Daenerys reaches Westeros, she might demand more than rumor. Do you still plan to reveal all to Jon?
She presses her trembling fingers to the old seal. The weight of Ned's secret, entrusted to her, still bears heavily.
He must learn the truth from me, not from strangers. Ned died keeping this secret. I will not fail him.
My lady, Lord Reed.
Catelyn forces a gentle smile, one that still surprises Jon. He remembers colder days when she offered no warmth at all.
Jon, there is something of great importance I must tell you.
He glimpses the worn parchment in her hand. Catelyn and Howland lead Jon inside. The door closes behind them. Torchlight spills across damp stone walls. Catelyn unfolds the letter, voice trembling.
This was written by Lyanna Stark, my sister by marriage, your mother.
Jon's heart pounds, breath catching. He stares at the script, incredulous.
She loved Rhaegar Targaryen. They wed in secret. Robert Baratheon's rebellion was sparked by falsehoods. Everyone believed Rhaegar abducted her. But it was not so. When Lyanna died, Ned promised to protect you.
Rhaegar Targaryen, my father.
Yes, Jon. You are no bastard. You are the son of Lyanna Stark and Prince Rhaegar. Ned hid the truth to shield you from King Robert's vengeance.
The weight of this revelation crushes Jon's every assumption. He has worn the name Snow for years, endured side glances and slights, believed himself unwanted. Now he blinks, unsteady.
Why tell me now?
Because Daenerys Targaryen has crossed the sea. She summons you. The realm cannot be saved from within if we remain divided. I will not let secrets destroy us.
Jon's gaze drops to the parchment. He envisions the father he never knew, the mother who died giving him life, and Ned Stark, who bore dishonor to protect him.
I don't know what to do.
Find Daenerys. Speak truth. Unite us, Jon. If you truly carry Targaryen blood, perhaps the dragons will answer.
Jon inhales, shoulders squared. Shock swirls inside him, but an ember of resolve glows. He was raised a Stark, taught honor by the man he called father. He will not betray that upbringing, no matter his parentage. White Harbor, the north. 302 AC at the bustling port of White Harbor, Jon Snow prepares to sail south. Robb Stark, newly crowned king in the north, clasps Jon's forearm in farewell. Nearby, Catelyn Stark stands with her sons Bran and Rickon, who remain behind for safety.
You've ever been a brother to me. Now I learn you're my cousin. That doesn't change what's in my heart.
I'll do all I can to forge peace, and to protect us from what lies beyond the wall.
Catelyn Stark steps forward. She had once regarded Jon with thinly veiled resentment. Now her eyes glisten with sorrow and pride.
Go with the gods, Jon. Remember who raised you and who bore you. You are both ice and fire.
Jon bows his head, boards the ship, and sails for the southern ports, where Daenerys Targaryen's fleet is rumored to land. Dragonstone, late 302 AC. The seas churn around the ancient fortress of Dragonstone. Storm clouds gather overhead. Daenerys' fleet, anchored under the Targaryen banner, bobs in the harbor. Unbeknownst to them all, another claimant has seized this island first, Stannis Baratheon. Yet Daenerys' arrival changes everything. Ashore, a fierce battle unfolds. Stannis' dwindling supporters clash with unsullied phalanxes. The narrow beaches run red with blood. High on a rocky outcrop stands Sir Davos Seaworth, face set in despair, for Stannis' cause is crumbling. Daenerys Targaryen sits astride a black horse, flanked by Grey Worm and the Unsullied. Above, Drogon circles, roaring.
Lay down your arms! I offer mercy to those who yield!
Stannis appears at the entrance to the fortress gates. His forces are outnumbered, exhausted. He brandishes Lightbringer, or what he believes to be the prophesied sword. Its glow faint in the dull light.
I am the rightful king of Westeros, daughter of the Mad King.
A swirl of flame erupts as Drogon unleashes a savage torrent, scattering Stannis' men.
You are no king. I am Daenerys Stormborn, mother of dragons. I claim Dragonstone by blood.
Stannis roars in defiance, charging. Grey Worm's disciplined ranks respond swiftly. Within moments, Stannis is unhorsed, pinned under spears. His eyes blaze with bitter pride one last time. A final blow ends him. Davos Seaworth is taken prisoner, kneeling in the wet sand. He stares at Stannis' fallen form, tears in his eyes.
This one yields, your grace.
Daenerys dismounts. She walks across the beach, waves lapping at her boots, and regards Davos.
You fought for him?
I did, though he was flawed. I believed he'd bring justice to the realm.
Your loyalty is admirable, but your king was misguided. For now, you will remain my prisoner. Prove your worth, and we shall see.
Davos bows his head in solemn acceptance. Later, in Dragonstone's Great Hall, Tyrion Lannister, Daenerys' hand, stands by a map of Westeros. Forced to flee King's Landing under accusation of regicide, Tyrion killed his father Tywin Lannister in a desperate escape from the Red Keep. Smuggled across the narrow sea by Varys, he soon pledged his wit and political savvy to Daenerys, who recognized his value as both a strategist and a Westerosi liaison. Barristan Selmy and Missandei listen. Davos, under guard, observes quietly. Outside, the sea crashes against volcanic cliffs.
Our scouts confirm a fleet from White Harbor sails this way, carrying a northern envoy, possibly the rumored Targaryen-born lord. If we intend to unify Westeros, we should hear him out.
Daenerys taps her fingers on the carved stone table.
I would not dismiss the Starks lightly. They are proud and honorable. If this man truly is Rhaegar's son, I want to see him with my own eyes.
Your grace, I beg you, if this man can unite the realm, grant him an audience. The living face a dire threat from the north, or so I've heard. White Walkers.
Tyrion's eyebrows flick upward. The rumor of ice demons beyond the wall has circulated, but many southern lords scoff.
If Lord Snow has proof, we cannot ignore him.
Daenerys inclines her head. She gazes at the painted table, at the crest of House Targaryen.
Very well, we will hear this, Jon Snow.
Dragonstone's courtyard, a week later. The northern ship anchors, and Jon Snow disembarks. By his side is a small retinue of loyal Northmen. They climb the steep steps to the fortress gates. Awaiting them stands Missandei with unsullied guards.
Welcome, Her Grace awaits.
They proceed across the courtyard to the grand doors of the keep. Jon's cloak flutters in the salty breeze, heart pounding with tension. He has never seen dragons before. He hears them screech overhead, sees their massive silhouettes against dark clouds. Great Hall, Daenerys' audience. Jon enters. He sees the silver-haired queen seated on a high-backed chair. Tyrion stands at her side, flanked by Barristan and Grey Worm. Davos lingers near a column, guarded but curious. Jon bows respectfully.
Your Grace, I come in the name of Robb Stark, King in the North, and in the memory of Eddard Stark who raised me.
Daenerys studies him, searching his features for any sign of Rhaegar. A hush falls.
You claim Targaryen blood. Tell me, who are you?
Jon's throat tightens. He glances at Tyrion, who offers a small nod of encouragement.
My name was Jon Snow, but I've learned I was born to Lyanna Stark and Prince Rhaegar Targaryen in the Tower of Joy. My mother died there. Lord Eddard Stark hid me to protect my life.
Gasps ripple through the hall. Daenerys' eyes narrow.
And your proof?
Jon hesitates, producing Lyanna's letter sealed with the Stark direwolf. Missandei retrieves it for Daenerys to inspect. Tyrion and Barristan lean in, scanning the faded lines.
It appears genuine.
Still, Daenerys' face remains guarded. She rises, stepping close, gazing intently at Jon's grey eyes.
My father was called the Mad King. My brother Rhaegar was said to be noble, but the realm fell into ruin after his death. If you are truly his son, you have a claim that rivals mine. Why should I trust you?
I care nothing for crowns. I came because the Night's Watch has sounded the alarm. White Walkers threaten all living souls. If we do not unite, we die.
Daenerys' expression softens fractionally. She's heard rumors of the dead rising. She glances at her dragons through the open windows, their roars echoing.
Words are wind, Jon Targaryen, if that is who you are. We must be certain. Targaryens have a bond with dragons. Only our blood can hope to master them. Prove it.
Jon's jaw tightens. Anxiety swells. The notion of riding a dragon feels impossible, yet something stirs within him. Dragonstone's cliffs at dusk. High atop a rocky plateau, Drogon stands perched, fiery eyes glaring. Daenerys approaches with Jon. Grey Worm, Tyrion, Barristan, and Davos stand at a distance. Rhaegal and Viserion circle overhead.
This is my child, Drogon. If you are blood of my blood, he may accept you.
Jon steps forward slowly, each crunch of gravel echoing. Drogon snorts, exhaling smoke. Jon extends a trembling hand.
It's all right.
To everyone's astonishment, Drogon lowers his massive head. Jon touches the beast's scaled neck. A strange warmth courses through him. In that moment, doubt falls away.
The blood of the dragon.
Daenerys' eyes shine with relief, fascination, and perhaps a sudden kinship she never expected. She nods once.
Mount him!
Heart pounding, Jon climbs onto Drogon's back, following Daenerys' guidance. The dragon rumbles, but doesn't buck him off. Tyrion stares, astonished. With a powerful beat of its wings, Drogon launches skyward. Jon clings desperately. Below, Daenerys watches with parted lips. Drogon circles once, then lands in a gust of wind. Jon dismounts, shaking but triumphant.
You have proven your heritage, Jon. You are the son of my late brother.
A hush. Then Daenerys extends her hand.
Let us forge an alliance for the sake of the living.
Jon clasps her hand. A single handshake seals their accord. War Council in Dragonstone's chamber. Maps of Westeros sprawl across the table. Tyrion, Davos, Jon, Daenerys, and Barristan stand around it.
The White Walkers approach the wall. The Night's Watch lacks manpower. Lord Snow, Jon, believes the threat is imminent.
They bring an endless winter. If we fail to unite now, no throne will matter.
Then we shall fly north. But first we must quell the Lannisters who still resist and secure the Iron Throne. Will your brother Robb join us?
Yes. Robb holds the north. We must combine our forces to face both the undead and any who stand in our way.
They plot a route. Daenerys' dragons and the bulk of her army will march upon King's Landing to remove Cersei. Jon will lead a contingent northward to gather more allies. Then they will converge for the final push.
What of the Tyrells or the Dornish? We need their aid.
I'll send ravens. But the Lannisters at King's Landing remain the biggest obstacle. Cersei has spurned all pleas to join forces.
Daenerys' face darkens.
She refuses to relinquish the throne. Very well. We give her one last chance to surrender. If she will not, we dethrone her by force.
The North, battlefield near Winterfell, 303 AC. Word reaches Robb Stark that the White Walkers have shattered the wall's eastern portion. The army of the dead creeps south. Snow drifts, even though it should be autumn. A swirl of icy wind howls across the bleak plain. Robb, flanked by the Greatjon and other northern lords, faces skeletal wights surging from the tree line. Arya Stark stands beside Gendry, each wielding dragonglass daggers. Bran and Rickon remain inside Winterfell's safety.
Form ranks, archers loose.
Arrows tipped with dragonglass hiss, felling some wights, but more rise, unstoppable.
Get back, Gendry.
Gendry smashes a white skull with a warhammer. The northern lines hold, but only just. A piercing screech echoes across the field. One of Daenerys' dragons, Rhaegal, swoops overhead, Jon in the saddle. Daenerys astride Drogon follows, raining fire upon the undead ranks. Roars of flame scorch the land. The White Walkers recoil, ice meeting fire in a violent clash.
Robb!
Robb embraces him, relief flooding his features. The combined army stands a fighting chance, yet the Night King looms at the edge of the fray. His crystal blue gaze fixes on Jon. The dead rise where they have fallen.
Dracarys!
Drogon's flames incinerate rows of wights, but the Night King flings a spear of ice. Drogon banks hard, shrieking. Daenerys narrowly avoids disaster.
Protect Daenerys!
He charges through swirling snow. The Night King steps forward, drawing an icy blade. Steel meets frost in a ringing clash. Jon's Valyrian steel holds. The Night King's strength is inhuman, pushing Jon back. With a burst of defiance, Jon sweeps the blade in a wide arc. A crack of ice, he slices through the Night King's defenses. The ancient other staggers, sinister eyes flaring. Jon slams his sword home in the creature's chest. A thunderous shatter echoes. The Night King splinters into a million shards of ice. All around, wights collapse, lifeless once more. Silence descends. The survivors stare in disbelief. Jon stands panting over the broken remains of the realm's darkest foe. Daenerys Targaryen dismounts and rushes to Jon, heart pounding. The two stand amid swirling snow, locked in grateful relief. Winterfell's great hall. Northern bannermen cheer, celebrating victory over the dead. Fires crackle, pushing back the lingering chill. Robb presides at the high table with Daenerys and Jon. Catelyn and Arya observe with bittersweet joy. That same night, in the warmth of a quiet corridor, Jon and Daenerys speak softly.
I have never felt so complete. We have ended the terror from beyond the wall. The realm still needs us, but I feel hope.
Jon smiles, pressing a gentle hand to her cheek.
We were brought together for a reason. Maybe all the bloodshed led here to a chance for peace.
She embraces him tenderly. Sometime later, she confesses in hushed tones.
My blood runs hot. I suspect I carry your child.
Jon's breath catches. Love and disbelief swirl in his eyes.
A child? We will protect our son or daughter, always.
They share a quiet moment, dwarfed by the ancient stone walls. Winterfell's great hall, a double wedding, early 304 AC. Candles blaze in every alcove. Northern lords gather in solemn joy. Two ceremonies unite House Stark and Targaryen lines even further. First, Jon Targaryen, once Snow, and Daenerys Targaryen stand before a weirwood-laced altar. Samwell Tarly officiates, wearing Maester's robes, newly arrived from the Citadel. A hush falls over the hall.
By the old gods and the new, we gather to celebrate the union of Jon and Daenerys.
Jon and Daenerys exchange vows, hands bound with ribbon. Catelyn and Robb watch from nearby, tears in their eyes. The crowd cheers as Jon kisses his bride. Moments later, at the second altar, Arya Stark stands in a simple gown beside Gendry Baratheon, recently legitimized by royal decree. Yet Arya's restless gaze betrays her nerves. She learned she is expecting Gendry's child. Torn between her independence and love, she hesitated until a gentle intervention from Jon.
I'm no lady, but I will wed you, Gendry. We'll forge our own path.
You'll always be free. I only want your happiness.
They exchange rings. The crowd applauds. Jon, at Arya's side, leans in briefly.
You're still our fierce wolf. Marriage changes none of that.
Arya smiles, relieved. King's Landing, 304 AC, the final confrontation. The combined might of the North, Targaryen forces, and their allies gathers outside the city gates. Cersei Lannister has refused all entreaties. She stands on the Red Keep's ramparts with Qyburn, an eerie wildfire glimmer in her eyes.
They want my throne. I'll burn them all first.
Her ranks of Lannister soldiers stand battered, outnumbered. The city's populace cowers. Jaime Lannister, torn between devotion and horror, watches Cersei pace.
Cersei, the city will be slaughtered. Surrender and spare the innocent.
She glares, madness flickering.
Never. If they take me, I'll leave this city in ashes, like the caches. Let wildfire devour them.
Jaime reels, memories of Aerys II's final threat returning. He cannot let history repeat. Below, Daenerys' dragons circle menacingly. Tyrion tries one last time.
Cersei, the city need not burn. Release your hold. The throne belongs to the rightful rulers, Jon and Daenerys Targaryen. Please, for the sake of the people, surrender.
Cersei only laughs, nodding at Qyburn. Green plumes of wildfire begin to glow beneath the city. Jaime Lannister seizes his sword. He tries to pull Cersei away from the parapet.
Cersei, come with me. We can flee before you doom everyone.
Cersei sneers, stepping toward the hidden wildfire trigger. Jaime's face contorts with anguish.
I won't watch you become what I once killed.
She tries to break free, screaming, "I am the queen!" But Jaime, tears streaming, does the unthinkable. He stabs her through the heart. She gasps, shock filling her eyes. Blood reddens her lips.
You were all I had.
She falls, dying. Jaime stares at the blood on his hands, haunted. Grief overwhelms him. Then, with grim resignation, he drives the blade into his own chest, collapsing beside her. Moments later, Tyrion and a few Lannister soldiers burst into the tower. They find the twins lying side by side. Tyrion's face contorts in sorrow, tears running unchecked.
My brother, my sister.
Weeks later, the Iron Throne stands unoccupied, its twisted swords gleam in midday sunlight. Jon Targaryen and Daenerys Targaryen enter. Silent courtiers watch as the couple ascends the dais. Tyrion, face etched with mourning for his siblings, remains beside them. Davos Seaworth, freed from captivity and now serving as an advisor, announces,
"Behold Jon, first of his name, and Daenerys, first of her name, true heirs of House Targaryen. They stand united as king and queen of the Andals, the Rhoynar, and the First Men."
A roar of approval rises. Some kneel, some simply stare in awe. Jon and Daenerys face each other, their hands clasp. Daenerys steps forward.
"We have fought White Walkers, ended tyranny, and bound two great houses together. Let our reign bring renewal to Westeros."
Jon, steel in his voice.
"We promise justice and peace. Together we shall rebuild what war has broken."
They each settle onto the Iron Throne, two rulers, forging a new precedent. Aftermath. Robb Stark remains king in the North for a time, negotiating with his cousin. But after much discussion, the North agrees to rejoin the realm, granted wide autonomy and solemn promises of respect. Arya and Gendry, now Lady and Lord Baratheon of Storm's End, rebuild their seat. They welcome their newborn son, Edric Baratheon, into a changing world. Arya, restless, ensures her child is raised to be as free-spirited as she. Tyrion Lannister becomes Lord of Casterly Rock, inheriting the Westerlands after Jaime and Cersei's tragic end. He rules with measured wisdom and invests in restoring farmland ravaged by war. Though his sorrow lingers, he finds solace in building a more just domain. At Winterfell, Catelyn tends to the younger Starks. Bran hones his gifts, Rickon grows into a sturdy youth, and Sansa, freed earlier in the war, has chosen to reside in the Vale temporarily with her aunt's court. Peace, though fragile, blankets the north. Late 304 AC, the birth of the next prince. In the Red Keep, Daenerys goes into labor. Maesters and midwives bustle around her. Jon paces anxiously outside the chamber. Finally, a lusty cry pierces the corridor. A Maester emerges, beaming.
"A son, your grace."
Jon rushes in. Daenerys, pale and exhausted, cradles a swaddled infant. Tears of relief brim in her eyes. Jon kneels beside her, pressing a trembling kiss to her forehead.
"Our son, alive and well."
Daenerys softly strokes the baby's downy hair.
"We shall name him Rhaegar, after his grandsire."
Westeros breathes in a rare peace, guided by two monarchs who embody both ice and fire. Jon I and Daenerys I, united in purpose and bound by love. No one can say how history will judge them, but for now, the realm stands under their shared banner, forging a future brighter than the chaos left behind. Valar Morghulis.